Well, good evening, everyone. It is now Monday night. I did not get to this on Sunday like I had planned, but here we are. Number 7, 89 verses. Seems to be kind of a daunting task, but the reality is this is really one of those chapters that is God attempting to, well, not attempting to, it's God. He doesn't attempt anything, he just does. You know, the total Yoda, do or do not, there is no try, God does. But he presents to us, through Moses, a series of detailed, meticulous recordings of what the duties are and what the specific, this is the book of Numbers. So we're going to get into a lot of repetition and details, and that's essentially what this chapter is. So we'll explore these things as they come up, but be prepared for a little bit of reading tonight. And I'm not going to belabor points because I don't want to bore you. I want this study to be meaningful. I want this study to stay with you. And I want it to be something that you'll carry with you. And so I'm not going to, every time we come to a repetition for the tribes, I'm not going to go over the same points multiple times. So I may hit it a reminder 2 or 3 times as we go through. But the main point is going to be made pretty early and then repeated only like twice or a couple of times. So I do intend to read the entire 89 verses, and I don't think this is going to take an hour, may not even take 30 minutes, and then that'll be the end of this video, and then I will move into the next 2 chapters, 8 and 9, for the next video. So anyway, we are in Numbers chapter 7. I'm reading out of the King James, as I usually do, and we're going to start here in verse 1. And it came to pass on the day that Moses had fully set up the tabernacle, and had anointed it and sanctified it, and all the instruments thereof, both the altar and all the vessels thereof, and had anointed them and sanctified them, that the princes of Israel, heads of the house of their fathers, who were the princes of the tribes, and were over them that were numbered, offered. Okay, so this is back in Exodus. Remember, in Exodus we had kind of a threefold thing. God gave Moses instruction on the mountain, and then Moses came down and gave instruction to the people, and then we have the record of them actually doing the instructions, following the instructions. And so this is hearkening back. This is Moses recording now. Here we are a year later. That he's recording now what took place after they had first set up the tabernacle. And you can imagine that after the initial instructions, there was time that was taken to actually get all the things together, to smelt and to shape and to sew and to do all the things that they needed to do to get that up. But here we are talking about back in that time. And so Moses is recording this thing, of course, by inspiration of the Holy Spirit, so his memory is going to be perfect, but it's through his voice. And so he's writing these things down. He says, back then, when the tabernacle was first set up and sanctified, that the princes of Israel, the heads of the house, brought, verse 3, and they brought their offering before Jehovah 6 covered wagons and 12 oxen, a wagon for 2 of the princes and for each one an ox, and they brought them before the tabernacle. Okay, so they're bringing these wagons. They're bringing as part of the offering to care for the tabernacle, a way to transport it. This is something that they didn't just think of a year later when they're sitting around at the base of Sinai going, we've got Gershon and Merari and Kohath and their tribes all divvied out, but we don't have any way to carry the tabernacle. No, this goes all the way back. Moses is saying, so, hey, when we first got the tabernacle, these offerings were made of these wagons, a wagon for 2 of the princes, and for each one an ox. So you got 6 covered wagons because there's 12 princes, and then 12 oxen because there's 12 princes, and that's how they divided it out. So they brought them before the tabernacle for the service of the tabernacle, particularly for the carrying of the tabernacle when they moved. And so Moses harkens back to that time. He remembers back to that time when that offering was made. Yes, my eyes are very dry because it is 11:54 at night. I was getting the little one to sleep, so it'll probably be a little bit before my eyes are open enough and watered enough to where I'm not going to stop rubbing them and messing with them, because I was pretending to sleep so she would go to sleep. But anyway, so that's what Moses is hearkening back to, because about what we're about to talk about. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, verse 4, saying, Take it of them, that they may be to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and you shall give them unto the Levites, to every man according to his service. So Jehovah's like, you're going to give these wagons and these oxen to the Gershonites, the Kohathites, and the Merariites, or however you say that. And that way they can carry the stuff that I told them to carry. Except the Kohathites, remember, their requirements were to carry the Ark of the Covenant and the table for the showbread and the menorah and the small altar for incense and the large altar on the outside. All of those things they were supposed to carry with the staffs between or on a board, and they were supposed to walk. They were not supposed to carry those on a wagon, which is a mistake that David makes later. But so anyway, the Kohathites are not going to actually get a wagon, but you're going to see Merari and Gershon divide up those. And the way that they divide them up makes sense. It's not an equal dividing because of what each of those two sub-tribes is in charge of. Okay, so verse 6, And Moses took the wagons and the oxen and gave them unto the Levites. 2 wagons and 4 oxen he gave unto the sons of Gershon according to their service. Okay, so 2 oxen are going to pull 1 wagon, and Gershon only gets 2. Why? Because Gershon's only carrying the cloth. He's got the tapestries, the coverings, the ropes, all of the things that are cloth based are going to go in these covered wagons. And he only needs 2 because those are the lighter of the things. Then it says in verse 8, And 4 wagons and 8 oxen he gave unto the sons of Merari according unto their service, under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. So remember, Merari had all of the boards, all of the metal fittings, the anchors for the boards, the things that were, all of the heavy stuff, the pillars, everything that was part of the tabernacle that was like the skeleton of it, the bones, the heavy stuff. And so they got twice as many wagons because they had to carry all the heavy stuff, and they're not going to be able to do that with just 2 wagons. And so that's what Merari got. And then verse 9, But unto the sons of Kohath he gave none, because the service of the sanctuary belonging unto them was that they should bear upon their shoulders. Okay, so the Kohathites were to carry everything on their shoulders. They were to walk, and they had those staves. They weren't supposed to touch any of it, but they carried it on the staves, and they walked, and it was more stable that way. Because those things were the holy things, the actual implements used in the worship during the tabernacle. So, all right, so that brings us to verse 10. And the princes offered for dedicating of the altar in the day that it was anointed. Even the princes offered their offering before the altar. Okay, so that was back in Exodus. And then Jehovah said unto Moses, They shall offer their offering, each prince on his day after or for the dedicating of the altar. Okay, so now we're going to get into the tedium, because every prince that comes to bring these wagons and oxen and all of that, when they come to bring their dedication, because remember we did the priests, so we're still way back in the time of Exodus when they just come out of Egypt, and it was the 2nd month, I think it was, when they were at Sinai. And then Moses is up there for 40 days, and so now we're in the 3rd month. Tabernacle gets set up, so we're probably approaching the 5th or 6th month. But they're dedicating the tabernacle. And when they did this is what Moses was told to do for each of these princes. Every prince was going to offer on a different day in a row. So there was the next 12 days when they decided to start doing this, that each of the princes would come and they would make their offerings, 1 prince per day. And there's 12 princes. So we're going to read this 12 times just with a different prince of each tribe. Okay? So, verse 12, And he that offered his offering the first day was Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, of the tribe of Judah. So there's the first one. And remember, Judah Judah is special. Judah is the fourth son of Leah from Jacob, and the first three different things happen to them. Levi, of course, is the priesthood and the service of the tabernacle, but then you had the other two did things that were not pleasing to God, and so he removed them from that place of prominence, and Judah was given that place of prominence. And Judah is later, the southern kingdom is called Judah, and that's where we get the term Jews from. It's because they are of the tribe of Judah, of the kingdom of Judah. So we often see Judah listed first in a place of prominence and a place of honor because of that. And his offering was 1 silver charger, the weight thereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. Both of them were full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering. Okay, so they came and they offered essentially 200 shekels of these two items, the silver charger and the bowl, were offered, and they were 200 shekels total worth, 130 and 70. After the shekel of the sanctuary, in other words, by the standard measurement. You know, if you think to the United States, who has the authority to mint coin? According to the Constitution, well, it's Congress. Congress has the authority to set the weights and measures of gold and silver back when we used real money. And so that obligation, that responsibility was given to the priesthood according to the tabernacle, the sanctuary. That's where those laws and those measurements were. This is a very, very important point. Okay, this is something that a lot of people I've not heard from any other commentators or preachers over the years or anything. But the idea of the shekel weight being kept, the legal idea of what a shekel was, being kept in the sanctuary, in the tabernacle, later the temple, was indication that all of the official records were kept in the tabernacle, later the temple. Every bit of all of the laws that Moses writes down, of course the 10 Commandments, we talk about a lot. The tablets of stone were actually in the Ark of the Covenant. Aaron's rod is later placed in the Ark of the Covenant. But the tabernacle and the temple was a place where the official documentation, the legal documentation of Israel was kept. It was the center of their government, particularly now. You have a theocracy, and so the priesthood is central to that. Both Moses and Aaron are of the tribe of Levi. Both of them are sons of Kohath, sons of Amram. And for these first few, essentially centuries, we're going to have a solid priesthood where God is still directing things. You're going to have a civil head in Moses, and then Joshua, and then later the judges. But as a theocracy, the official documents of this government are kept there in the temple and the tabernacle. Why is this important? Well, all this numbering that's going on are official documents that are indicative of the descent from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then from those 12 tribes, particularly of Levi. And why that's important is the priesthood comes from Aaron. If you can't prove that you were from Aaron, you can't be a priest. If you can't legally, according to the law of Moses, prove that you are a son of Aaron, that you are descended from Aaron as a male, you can't be a priest. Hebrews 7 talks about this. Jesus could not have been a priest under the law of Moses. That's why there was a need to change the law from the law of Moses to the law of Christ, because Jesus could not be our high priest today if the law of Moses was still in effect. Well, the problem with that is all of those legal documents were kept in the temple that was burned by the Romans in AD 70, so that not one stone was left standing on another. There are no more official records And legally, according to the law of Moses, according to the standards kept in the sanctuary, nobody can prove that they're from Aaron. There is no more priesthood. There is no more proving that you are even descended from Abraham. They just make it up. They have maybe some family unofficial documents. Maybe they have some traditional things to look over and say, well, according to tradition, I'm from this tribe or whatever. The 10 tribes of the north were taken completely into Assyrian captivity and don't exist anymore. And then the southern 3 tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, while the people still survived and remained and were dispersed by the Romans, their official religion, all of the documentation, everything that supported them and sustained them was in the temple. And it was all destroyed. It all burned. And so all they have left today officially is their rabbinical tradition, what they call the Talmud. And it's very, very different. It's more along the lines of the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the things that were being taught by the various schools of thought, rather than actually looking at the official documentation. But they don't have a temple. There's no temple. There's a Muslim mosque that sits there right now where the temple was on the Temple Mount. And there is no sacrifices, there's no priesthood, none of that. Everybody that is pretending to be a priest today can't do so legally because of this very fact. Okay, so this is an important thing here to say. After the shekel of the sanctuary, that's the legal standard that was kept in the tabernacle and later the temple. Okay, so that's one of the biggest points to bring out of this chapter, I thought. Okay, and so they're going to offer this meal offering in those bowls, and then they leave the bowls there for the temple. And then 1 spoon of 10 shekels of gold full of incense. So 1 spoonful of incense. And these are the implements that were put in the dishes that were used in the tabernacle. So when later we get to like Daniel 6, where Belshazzar, the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar, takes those and uses them for a common meal, and he dies that night because of it. The Medes and the Medo-Persian Empire comes in. The Medes come in and kill him. the handwriting on the wall kind of thing. All of that is because of these bowls and spoons and chargers and all of that. A charger is like a cup. All of these things were being used as a common meal when they were sanctified implements. They were supposed to be used only in the temple and tabernacle. Okay, so, and then you have 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. So we have a meal offering and a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. And then for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Nahshon, the son of Amminadab. So out of the different offerings, we had all of them. We had the meal offering, we had the burnt offering, we had the sin offering, and then we had a peace offering. The only thing we don't have is a trespass offering. Okay? So that's what Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, does. Now, we're going to repeat this 11 more times. On the second day, Nathaniel, the son of Zuar, prince of Issachar, did offer. He offered for his offering 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering, 1 spoon of gold of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Nathaniel, the son of Zuar. On the third day, Eliab, the son of Helon, prince of the children of Zebulun, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, And for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliab, the son of Helon. Okay, so now note that we've done Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. And now we're going to do Reuben. On the 4th day, Eliezer, the son of Shedeur, prince of the children of Reuben, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger of the weight of 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meal offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, for a sacrifice of peace offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliezer the son of Shedeur. On the 5th day, Shelumiel the son of Zurishaddai, prince of the children of Simeon, did offer his offering, and this is the 6th child. These are all of Leah. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meal offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Shelumiel the son of Zurishaddai. Alright, on the 6th day, Eliasaph the son of Deuel, the prince of the children of Gad. Now Gad, remember, is of I believe Bilhah. We're not talking about Leah's kids anymore. They're not in chronological order. They're in kind of more of a hierarchical order, the way that they're presented here. Okay, so Gad offered. His offering was 1 silver charger of the weight of 130 shekels, a silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliasaph the son of Deuel. Now, since we've read this and we've seen that Gad, and we're going to see that the other 5 are the same, Gad is not only not a son of a wife of Jacob, but a handmaiden. Gad is Gad is treated as an equal son of Jacob, and that's an important thing to note here, that each of these tribes are all considered equal, because under Israel it was from the father that the authority extended. So when you look at the 12 sons, they are the 12 sons of Jacob, and they are all equal 12 sons that are given blessings based on the things that they have done. So Judah gets a higher portion because of some of the good things that he did, or some of the less bad things, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. But when we look at this dedication, when we look at them kind of being sanctified as part of this new nation here, because that's what's going on, all of them are given equal standing. They all offer exactly the same thing. They all offer the 200 shekels worth of silver for the cup and the bowl. They offer a 10 shekel gold spoon. And they offer the same animals, the same, everything is the same. They all have equal standing before God. And the lesson here, in a way, is that there aren't cliques, there aren't levels, there aren't any kind of there's no partiality with God. There's no there's no prejudice. When God sanctifies us by the blood of his Son, when we are added to the church, we are all added equally. Our salvation and the blessings that God gives us are equal. There is no Jew, there is no Greek. There is no male, there's no female, there's no bond or free. We are all one in Christ Jesus, and this is a type of that. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't different services that each of us are given. Each of us has different talents. Each of us has different roles to play. The work that we do is divided up. To some he gave to be teachers, some he gave to be preachers. When we talk about men and women, there are different roles of authority that they have, but this is the work that gets divided up. That's what God divided up. But as far as the blessings and the participation, there is no difference between any person. None whatsoever. Everybody is equally saved. Everybody is equally blessed in terms of all of the spiritual blessings that are found in Christ, Ephesians 1:3. And I think we're seeing the type of that here. That it didn't matter that Dan and Gad and the other two boys were of Bilhah and not Zipporah. Now it's late and I can't remember her name. But anyway, the two handmaidens. It doesn't matter that Rachel only had Joseph and Benjamin, and Leah had 6 boys. None of that matters. For in God's eyes, they were all the sons of Jacob. They were all equal in his eyes. And so you see here, when they are dedicated as part of this 2 million people nation, when they are being founded as a nation, because they're founded here, and then they spend 40 years getting established over the course of the wandering in the wilderness. And then we see after that there's a little bit of time of conquering the promised land and all that. But when they are founded, when they are started, God says you're all equal. He gives all of the tribes equal measure in the blessings and the partaking of the nation. And then when he doles up the work, he gives Judah the most responsibility, the most work, because he showed himself to be the most responsible, and so his descendants get the most work. And then you have under Levi, they have the dividing up of the 3 sons of Levi, the Gershonites, the Kohathites, and the Merarites, however you would say that. He gives them particular things because of Moses and Aaron. So it's the work that gets divided up. Okay? All right, so let's go to 48. Now remember, the 12 sons here that we're talking about, or the 12 tribes that we're talking about here, are not going to include Levi. And Levi doesn't get included in a whole lot of these because of their position surrounding the tabernacle and the priesthood. And also remember, because of what Joseph had to go through, Joseph got a double portion of the promise. And so his 2 sons each got a tribe because of what Joseph did in service to God. The suffering that he had to go through, but also because of his faithfulness. And so we're going to read about Ephraim and Manasseh instead of Joseph as 2 tribes individually. On the 7th day, Elishama, the son of Ammihud, prince of the children of Ephraim, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meal offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Elishama, the son of Ammihud. On the 8th day offered Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur, prince of the children of Manasseh. So there's Ephraim and Manasseh, those are Joseph's kids. His offering was 1 silver charger of the weight of 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meal offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur. On the 9th day, Abidan, the son of Gideoni, prince of the children of Benjamin. So now we've got both of the children of Rachel here. The prince of the children of Benjamin offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Abidan the son of Gideoni. On the 10th day, Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai, prince of the children of Dan, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. And for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai. On the 11th day, Pagiel, the son of Ochran, prince of the children of Asher, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Pagiel the son of Ochran. On the 12th day, the last day, it's like the 12 days of Christmas here. On the 12th day, we could make a song about that. We could do like the 12 tribes of Israel, but do it like to the tune of the 12 days of Christmas. That would be a great teaching tool. Question would be, which list do we use? Anyway, on the 12th day, Ahira the son of Enan, prince of the children of Naphtali, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meal offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Ahira the son of Enan. And in case you didn't get all that, they're going to total it up for you. Moses is going to total it up for you, and you get it again. This was the dedication of the altar, and the day when it was anointed by the princes of Israel. 12 chargers of silver, 12 silver bowls, 12 spoons of gold, each charger of silver weighing 130 shekels, each bowl 70. All the silver vessels weighed 2,400 shekels, so in case you can't do math, they do that for you as well, after the shekel of the sanctuary. The golden spoons were 12, full of incense, weighing 10 shekels apiece, after the shekel of the sanctuary. All the gold of the spoons was 120 shekels, because math. All of the oxen for the burnt offering were 12 bullocks, the rams 12, the lambs of the first year 12, with their meat offering, and the kid of the goat for sin offering 12. Because each one did 1, and there were 12 of them, if you didn't get that. And all the oxen for the sacrifice of the peace offering were 20 and 4, because there were 2 of each of those, and there were 12 brothers, or 12 tribes, I should say. The rams 60, because there were 5 each at 12. Again, math. And the he-goats 60, the lambs of the first year 60. This was the dedication of the altar. After that it was anointed. So that's the altar on the outside. They were dedicating, each tribe was offering these sacrifices to kind of partake in the theocracy that they were becoming a part of here. So this was their dedication, their official part of the establishment of the nation. And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation to speak with him, then he heard the voice of one speaking unto him from off the mercy seat that was upon the ark of testimony, from between the 2 cherubims, and he spake unto him. Okay, so all of this gets sacrificed, and then Moses goes into the tabernacle, and he hears somebody speaking to him from the mercy seat. Of course, this is God, and when we say God, in this particular case, it is. There's probably no confusion or contention whatsoever that this is God the Son. that it is the theophany, that it is always God the Son, that is the go-between between God the Father and mankind. And so when we have God speaking to Moses here, it's actually pre-incarnate Jesus that's speaking to him. It's the Son of God, God the Son. So, well, number 7 is in the can. Just looking at our time here, 35 minutes to do an 89 verse chapter. So that's pretty good. Not the most exciting chapter in the Bible, but there are some points to be made in here, some very good things for us to learn. Romans 15:4, the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. This has to be studied as part of God's Word, and it needs to be looked at. So I appreciate you joining me, and I hope you'll be here for the next one. Like I said, I'm going to do numbers 8 and 9 probably tonight, but I'm going to do it as a different video. So I look forward to having you view that whenever you have the opportunity. Y'all have a good night.